Hey, what's going on, guys? I was bagging up some cocoa fiber and thought I'd make this video that I've been contemplating the past week or so, and I just haven't got around to it. Uh, this right here, if you've ever watched any of my rehousing videos, is the tote that I use for my rehousings. It serves as an extra barrier to prevent escapes. It's really helpful. It helps you feel a lot more comfortable when you're doing it as well. Nothing running out on the table, and if so, you've got a little bit of a time before that happens. Uh, Also, I'm extremely big on storage, so this doubles for all of my tarantula supplies. Not only storage but organization. So I wanted to take the time to show you this as well as kind of go through some of my supplies that I keep in here and some things that I personally am in the habit of doing myself. So firstly, I always keep spare enclosures. You never know when you're going to go to a show or just decide to get any teas, and it's best to be prepared. Not only do I keep spare enclosures on hand at all times, they also come in handy to help kind of separate things out and keep them stored in here. And you'll see in this one I've got some bottle caps for water dishes. I got my hot glue gun. I've also got my glue sticks. I've also got the small containers that I've received some teas in that I keep in there. And these containers right here are awesome. You can get them at Walmart. I mean, they vary anywhere from $3-4 to $8, just depending on the size. They're excellent for juveniles, and actually even up to some adult size. Probably not fully grown, depending. But this is also my leaves that I get. And this is awesome. If you go to a pet store, you're normally going to get a very small amount of leaves for a high dollar price. If you have it around you, I personally go to a place called Hobby Lobby, or you can go to a pet store. Or not a pet store, I'm sorry. You can go to a hobby store in your area. That was, I think, $15 for probably like a 5-foot section. And I've made several enclosures and I've hardly even touched it. You just trim off a couple leaves at a time, use them, works great. Again, I just store them right here in my container. Another thing is I also usually have a few prepared enclosures. I actually made this one for my OBT because I thought it was going to be a little bit bigger. But you see, it's all ready to go. So if I get something unexpectedly, go to a show, get something unexpectedly, it's ready to go. I'm a little bit anal as far as my enclosures go. You'll see everything on here is pretty neat. I mean, there's a few little botches here and there, but I generally will actually take the time to measure out a grid on my enclosures, and I determine whatever spacing I want to do at the time, and I go through and mark it with a marker, and then I come back through and I use my solder iron to put the holes in it. A lot of little plastic enclosures here. Got them from Reptile Show. Actually, they were giving away free crickets, and they had them in those little containers there. I got my Suriname in this bigger container, so I keep those on handy. These you can get at Walmart, $3. 1-gallon jugs, storage containers. Make perfect enclosures for arboreal species for quite some time. I've got 2 here. They also come in quart sizes, which is very helpful for smaller teas. I think I got my pea or minias in those quart containers. I've got my versicolor in one of those. I always keep several deli cups, and I'm just kind of showing you guys, so it's not necessarily going to get organized as I go. Now you probably can't get these, but I had some custom tools made for me from a buddy. He does instrument work. I've got several lengths here. I know people have told me, for more aggressive species, you're not going to want to use metal, but it's just kind of help prod them in the butt, or if it's a deep enclosure, help kind of prod them up to where I can reach them with a paintbrush, which I've also got a couple of those as well. You can see here I got more of those little containers. Another thing is cocoa fiber. You'll see I've got 1-gallon bag, 2-gallon bags, 3-gallon bag, 4-gallon bags. It's one thing that you always want to stay stocked up on. I'll tell you, you can buy a dried bag of like 24 quarts, I'm going to say, for $30, or you can buy a brick of compressed for $9-10. Granted, it takes the time to dry out the compressed bricks, but it's well worth it. If you go and spend the $10 previous to doing so and give yourself a bit of time, you'll have time for it to dry out, and you always got it on stock, ready to go. So it's a good idea to do. Same thing with the moss. Moss is expensive if you buy it in big, dry, loose bags. You can buy for $8. You can buy 2 or 3 little blocks of dried, compressed moss. And generally I'll put them in the bags. I'll let them dry out for a while, and because I have it so much time in advance, I have time for that to dry out. I got a couple things there. I got a little bit of vermiculite. I always save my cocoa fiber bags that I've used previously before. Piece of cardboard just to put my hot glue gun on. So that's pretty much it, guys. I just wanted to give you some tips and let you know, if you're starting out with teas, and it's addicting, so it's best to buy things in bulk. You don't want to buy stuff for just one tarantula, and it's cheaper if you buy stuff for multiple. You just go out and, like, I paid $35 for 2.5 pounds of cork bark, or you can go to the pet store and pay like $15 for one piece. The bark, the cocoa fiber, the moss, all that stuff. It's just better if you buy it in bulk and you're prepared, because you never know, if a friend's going to give you one, or if you go to a show and you're going to pick up some. And it just helps out a lot to be overly prepared abundantly. So I just wanted to share that with you guys and show you my little storage box. I'm an organizing type of person. I like to keep my things nice and neat, which obviously this isn't nice and neat. I'm going to have to go through and straighten it out. I just wanted to give you guys an idea and show you how I do things. So thanks for taking the time watching. If you have any questions on any enclosures, how to build them, or where I might purchase some of these things, where you might be able to get them at, just shoot me a comment and ask away, and I'll help you any way I can. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it. Later.